when I grow up. I do not want to be like Bailey and Curly. No way. I have higher standards than that.
They make me laugh. At the same time, scare the shit out of me. What will they say next?
Welcome to the roller coaster world of Bailey and Curly. Unfiltered. While this voice may be artificial, the unfiltered musings from our hosts certainly are not. Make yourself comfortable, grab a drink, and let's get unfiltered. Here's your hosts, Bailey and Curly.
Hey there everyone, and welcome to Curly and Bailey Unfiltered, and of course, a great welcome to 2021. How are you, Bailey? What have you been up to?
I'm good, man. How are you? What have I been up to? I've been resting, mate. I had a bit of a still got a bit of a head cold.
Truly.
So when we did our last podcast, I mentioned that my throat was a bit scratchy. Yeah. So woke up Wednesday, my throat felt like razor blades. And that went on for probably Wednesday, Thursday, and then I was supposed to work Christmas, but I had to call in sick. And so then still did the family, we did Christmas Wednesday because I was meant to be going to work. So we still did that, and when I look back at Christmas, I think that's what I remember is Wednesday night we had dinner, and then we did presents, and then I haven't worked since our last podcast because I went to work Sunday, but my nose is still running. So went and got a coronavirus test, and it come back negative. And but at the moment, I'm just taking it day by day, when I'm going back to work. As you can hear, when I breathe in, it's still all stifle out there.
And once upon a time, we'd work with that. Once upon a time, we'd put up with a head cold, and I thought it was a really interesting way for us to end 2020. In all honesty, with a COVID negative test for you, and of course we were supposed to do this podcast last night, and I sort of had a bit of a tummy bug that infected me at just the wrong time, and it was 2021. Sorry, it was 2020. That was what a way to finish the year. Both of us not feeling the best, and
I could feel it.
Negative.
COVID negative. I could feel it coming though. Like I burnt myself out through December, and I was fine with that. Like I seen my family twice, and I drove to Canberra to record music, and that was all between days off of working. Literally work, leave straight after work, go to either Canberra or went to Mount Gambier, come back literally then the next day, go to work and do it all over again. So we live in a world we live in now. Like you can't. Yeah, exactly. We would go to work, but being a flight attendant, I don't want to risk my ears not being able to unblock or something happening in the air as well. So,
absolutely, and flight crews are in the spotlight at the moment. So the last thing I think any sort of organisation would want is, being in the spotlight with potential COVID and quarantine risks, and having someone greeting you as you come on the plane, you're wiping your nose and carrying on. So you're making the wise decision. So
and I didn't feel guilty going sick Christmas because it's like I'm literally sick and everyone knows and they can hear it. And then I went sick New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and I was just. So it's just day by day at the moment because as soon as I breathe in, someone hears I got a runny nose, it'll make the news and something will happen and come out of it. But at least I'm COVID negative. Like I knew it wasn't. I knew it was a head cold. Like I usually get one twice a year, and I got one probably about 6 months ago, and then I almost went the year without another one. But no,
it's like that whole concept when people come out of the insane asylum, and they can brag about the fact that they've got a certificate that says that they're sane. So it's like you can say, hey, I don't have COVID. See, there's the text.
And that just goes to show wearing a mask, you can still get sick.
Oh, mate. I mean, and the interesting thing and no doubt you're seeing it at the moment, a lot of Facebook feeds were just filled with people saying, geez, it was a crap year. It wasn't what I planned. I can't wait for it to finish. But the real reality of 2020 to 2021 is that the 1st of January 2021 is pretty much where we were at 31st of December 2020. Just because we changed the calendar doesn't necessarily mean that we're in this same crap. We're still in the circumstances. We're still in COVID. We're still in this pandemic. And, even me, I said, let's kick 2020 in the balls and move on. The reality is that it's still hovering there, isn't it? And, this whole concept that people were going to start afresh like today. I mean, and I know you've got some real thoughts around this, around New Year's resolutions and that concept of let's get a kick started. So I just find it fascinating, and more so than ever, I saw it this year with people saying, I can't wait for this year to be finished. I can't wait to start 2021. And I really love it when people say it didn't go as planned. So one of the questions, so what did you have planned? And most of the time people don't plan for the year ahead. They don't plan. So share your thoughts, mate. New Year's resolutions, do they work?
Before I go, is our audio okay? I'm just hearing you a little bit crackly, that's all.
Are you? Oh, that might be good.
You can
People
hear
only
me all
tune
right?
in. Yeah, I can hear you all right. People only tune in for you, mate. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, it's all good. There's a bit of a delay as well. So
okay.
So yeah, like I used to be one of those people that would write down 2014 goals. That was probably the last time I wrote down my goals in the year, because I don't know. There's a lot of a new year isn't a reason to do something. If you really wanted to do it now. Like I guess people start them and then ask them in February, and they're probably, obviously weight loss is probably one of the biggest ones. It's like, why have you waited till, to start doing? Man, I'm always trying to lose weight, always, every day. Yeah. I'm doing what I need, and as you said, everyone's like, fuck 2020, it's the worst year ever, blah blah blah. But here we go into 2021. It's sort of like, I feel like we're waiting now for something else to happen. It's like, because what's crazy is a year ago, January 1st, 2020, we didn't even know about coronavirus, yet it had already been existed for about a month. So, yeah.
It's really interesting, and New Year's resolutions, I think there's statistics out there that say that 97% of resolutions fail, and I'm certainly not going to suggest that that's not the case. And it's interesting you talk about weight loss, because another goal that people say coming into, I'm going to get fitter. And one of the best times to get a car park at the gym is towards the end of January, because that's when most people have dropped off going to the gym, And one of the key things that I see with that, one of the key things I see with that, and I know you see it as well, is that when we're motivated and inspired and we get started on something, we go and slaughter ourselves at the gym. We're doing 3-hour sessions, we're lifting huge weights. And then by the time we've done it 3 times, we're buggered, we're knackered, and we say, oh, I'll give myself a break, and then all of a sudden you just never go back. And it's, the whole concept with any sort of a goal is steady improvement and daily action. So, and we see that time and time again, whether it's with weight loss, whether it's with fitness, whether it's with wanting to get ourselves healthier, we always see this initial surge of people going out there and doing what it is that they think that they should be doing, and then all of a sudden, because they can't keep that pace, they can't keep it going, so they stop.
Yeah, and so many people associate weight loss with the gym as well. and there's this, I've got to give up the donuts. I've got to work out in the gym. And I've said before recently is like you need to find an exercise that you love.
Yeah,
that's why and people search for this. People search for this thing called motivation. If you need motivation to do something, you really shouldn't be doing it. Like, do you think I need motivation to go out on my skateboard? Fuck no.
Yeah.
Do you think I need motivation to write music? Not at all, because I love it. You know? And if you're slogging yourself in the gym, you just shouldn't.
Absolutely. And, I think more so than ever, people should be sitting back and thinking about, not necessarily 2020 in a negative light, although a lot of people are. We should be thinking about, a lot of people have been told, be kind to yourself. Don't get yourself too stressed. Don't push yourself too hard. Look after yourself. Stay comfortable. Stay safe. All of that stuff. We've heard all that messaging all year, but the reality is that as you've come into 2020, it almost feels like it's been a lost year for so many people. And I think now is definitely the time to be thinking about what am I going to do in 2021 that's going to be different to what happened in 2020? Because so many people, I won't use the words gave up, because I don't think people gave up. I think they just wanted to be safe and secure and comfortable. But now that it's almost, and we've said it before, it almost feels like a wasted year, doesn't it? It feels like 2020 was just this thing that happened, and now we're all a year older, but we're still almost where we were this time last year. So the challenge that I think everyone that you face, that everyone listening to this faces, is how do I make sure that January 2022, I'm not sitting back and thinking, well, that's 2 years gone. That's 2 years gone. How do I make sure that 2021 I'm actually going to go out and achieve stuff?
That's a good point.
We do have a delay today, don't we?
We do, yeah. We'll just go with that. I get. I get what
makes
you're saying.
It makes you sound pensive. It makes you sound like you're thoughtful, because I think the delay's at your end. So when there's a gap, everyone listening to this, when there's a gap, it's because Matt's taking some time to contemplate and think about what he's going to respond.
I don't know if it's my headphones or what.
It's all good. We're cutting our way through it. We'll get there. So
it's definitely my headphones. So I've just turned my headphones off, and now I don't think there's a delay anymore.
Okay. So 2021, what is it that you're looking? You've talked about your music before. Have you sort of put that down in stone as to when that's going to come out, or when that's going to get finished or finalised?
Well, it's funny you say that. You can hear me fine, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I've just taken my headphones off, so audio's coming through. Hopefully it records okay. Well, funny you say that, because when I was in Canberra the other week, we finished the song, and then it hit me the other day. I'm thinking, I probably only need 4 more days up there. 4 more weekends, at least, to finish everything. And then I went and looked back at the email that Mark, my producer, had wrote up how much it's going to cost, and he broke down everything, like songwriting, bass, he broke down everything and how much. And in total, it was only about 12 days. So for me, that helped mentally, realizing it's probably I only need to make 4 more trips up there probably.
Yeah.
To get it finished. When that happens, I don't know, but it's only 4, and in my head, that's helped me mentally, because it's not that much. 4 is not that much.
Yeah.
So depending on my work schedule and Mark's schedule, all the recording can be done in Feb. So
and Bailey's back on Spotify.
Yeah. Whether it'll be out, I do have something to hopefully release in Feb.
Yeah.
But for the EP, whether that will come out, I'm because I got to film a music video as well, and so once all the recording's done, then I'll move on to the music video, which is very exciting because I'm having a little party here for like the release of the EP as well.
Cool.
So yeah, I've even bought like balloons. I've even bought little things that I'm gonna do in my house for the party. Just to get me going, like mentally, like at night times where I have all my ideas and I like to buy everything, and you just now with the New South Wales and big border, I'm like, at least Canberra's still open, so I can fly up, and I'm just like, fuck, how's this year going to start for us? And but having that 4 weekends in my mind, I'm like, 4 weekends, that's pretty good.
You can do it.
Because
it becomes doable, doesn't it?
Yeah, all the writing.
It becomes doable. It's not that overwhelming, daunting thing that's sitting there that we've got to get done. All of a sudden,
it was for a long time, you know. And now all the writing's done. I just literally go in there and record the instruments now, which doesn't take that long once you know what you're doing and you've got the music there. So looking forward to it. But
good stuff. Good stuff.
What
else for any big milestones happening for you apart from your music in 2021?
Yeah, my braces come off in February.
Well, that's pretty huge.
Yeah, February the 3rd they'll be off. So
yeah, no big birthdays coming up?
Nah, 31 this year.
Yeah, that's a big enough birthday. And the reason why I ask is, you know, when you start to think and plan a year, like this whole concept of people saying it didn't go as planned, you know, if we were serious about planning a year, we're looking at those things. What are the significant birthday events, not just for myself, but for those people that are close to us, you know, so... how long's, you know, for those people that are married, what's the wedding anniversary this year? What's your wife's birthday? What are those significant milestone events? If you've got children, what are they rocking up to? Is it an 18th? Is it a 21st? And I've got no doubt that people know. But that all comes down into planning the year, doesn't it? Because... I mean, if you don't know, I mean, once upon a time, we'd also be looking at where did you want to travel this year? So I don't think travel's back on our bucket lists.
No, hopefully by the end of this year, though, we will know when we can travel again.
Yeah. I'm hoping that you know, we're not planning anything now, internationally anyway, for 2021. The earliest we're starting to look is 2022. So
yeah, same.
Back to the States, my friend.
Me too, man. That'll be my trip, and it'll just be. I read something. I'm actually going to read it off my phone.
Yeah.
A guy posted this, and I hit the nail on the head. He hit the nail on the head, and I feel the same. I think a lot of us are probably going to feel this way. He said, I'll read the first bit.
Yeah.
2020 probably felt more emotions in a year than the 10 before. And I'm like, yeah, I felt that. That's how I felt. Like, having my family taken away from me was one emotion, and then reunited again. I never thought that would be a thing in this lifetime. Ever. And it was a weird year. That's how a lot of people are describing it too. It's a weird year.
Yeah, it's a weird year. And, you know, the interesting thing, and once again, just going back to helping others make 2020 the best year possible, is to really think about, you know, we went into 2020 blind, you know, as in not blind, rotten, drunk, but we went in blind,
we did.
not understanding what it was going to become. we now have that experience. We now have that experience of what it is. So now it's about, okay, I understand this. You know, when there's a COVID cluster, the borders will close. There's a possibility that I could be locked down again. There's a possibility that whenever I leave the house, I've got to wear a mask. You know, we know all this stuff now. So now we've got that experience. So how do we then say, well, fuck this. I still have things that I want to get out and get done. Like, I think I told you at Christmas, you know, it's interesting. I went back in and I looked at what I would call my milestone book that I've been, like, preparing for the last 5 years. And, you know, I had 2 other books that I was going to write last year, which I sort of half wrote. So for me, 2020 was just a bit of, you know, I did some good stuff and I did some pretty dumb stuff. But when I went in and actually dived into, like, getting really specific about what I want to get out of 2021, I said, I've got to write my fucking book. I've got to write my book, the book. And the book's called The Anatomy of a Leader. And I've just said, I've got to write that no matter what, you know. I've learnt that life is too fragile just to keep pushing that back to make other things fit. So I'm going to write it. But the funny thing, Matt, is that I went in and I checked everything that I'd already done. I've got the structure, I've got the chapters, I've got the whole framework there for it. And it's probably half done. It's already half done. So, and once again, I'm sitting there thinking, isn't that just typical Tony at the moment? There's all this half shit that's got done. And because I keep sort of the distractions and everything that's going on around me, I keep saying, oh, no, I better do this and this makes it fit. And, you know, I don't want to do that until this is done. And now I'm just saying, no, this is it. I've got to get The Anatomy of a Leader out this year. And that's my book. That's my specific focus for 2021. I don't care anything else that happens. This book has to be out there because, you know, I think it's going to be really, it's going to add some real value to people that are really struggling with this concept of leadership. So John Maxwell tells me all the time, he keeps saying to all the people in the John Maxwell team, and for those that don't know, John Maxwell is one of the biggest leadership gurus in the world. And he keeps saying every year you come into a year and you choose one word. One word. So what is that word that you're going to choose for 2021 that's going to be the central word or the central focus around what that is? And, you know, I've cheated. I think because I've chosen 2 words. But for me, 2021 is all about specific focus, really being specific and focused on what it is that I'm going to achieve. And I think for those people that are listening, there's a real power in choosing that one word, or in my case, 2 words, that can help you get into back into your mindset of achieving what it is that you want to set out to achieve. So if I was to put you on the spot, Matt, and say, what's your one word for 2021, what do you think it would be?
Focus.
Yeah. And it's interesting because coming into 2020, everyone was talking about focus and vision and 2020 insight. And then all of a sudden it felt like we were just hit with these, you know, big snowballs of shit that were thrown at us. So,
and I think we did. And I think
I agree.
We lost sight. We lost sight of what meant the most to us.
Yeah.
You know, having things taken away. And to go back what you said before, we weren't prepared for 2020 and what happened. And now we've been through it. Like you said, I'm happy every day since we've come out of lockdown. But if we went into lockdown again, I feel like I'm prepared.
Yeah.
And I would do the things to keep me happy again. Even though if I can't go to the shop and get a haircut and all that stuff. You know, hopefully we don't go back down that road. But you know, now we've been through it. I feel like everyone can, you know, go through anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I keep forgetting that it's a worldwide thing.
Yep.
Sometimes
it's not just Victoria. It's not just Queensland. It's not just New South Wales. This is going right around the world, and you know, continuing, and that tells us that it's going to be around for a while. So even though we're a big fucking island, we can't keep it out. And you know, continually, what's going on in New South Wales at the moment indicates that we're going to keep welcoming COVID to our shores, and it's how we deal with that. And but we do have that experience, and we do have a better mindset, I guess, mindset in relation to how do I deal with that. And interesting, I was listening to an interview with Eric Bana on the ABC, and Eric's just released a new movie, and funnily enough, I didn't catch the name of it, but he was talking about lockdown, and he was talking about isolation here in Australia, and he said, funnily enough, he in hindsight, when he thinks back to it, he wasn't as creative as what he thought he would have been. So we go into this, you know, a lot of our life is spent saying, I don't have time to do this, I don't have time. You know, I'm always pressured, I'm always busy, I'm always doing things, you know. And then all of a sudden we go into lockdown where not everything, but a lot of that stuff suddenly isn't there. And we think to ourselves, wouldn't that be ideal if I could just close the world off? And then we've got someone like Eric Bana, a global actor, saying he found it quite surprising that he wasn't as creative or productive as what he thought he would be. And I think that gives everyone out there a bit of a, well, fuck, if Eric Bana thinks like that, I don't feel so bad about myself. But now it is about,
that's how
I've learnt that. Sorry?
Yeah, that's how I felt. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
Like when we went into lockdown, I couldn't create anything.
Yeah.
Like my music just got put on hold, and I may have finished some lyrics and some songs. But even now with like planning this party, I'm like buying balloons and streamers, and I've got things coming online, and now that like we're open again, it's the creative juices are just flowing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you know, in hindsight, when I think back on 2020 and I had the perfect circumstances to sit down and write 2 books. Perfect time. I was meeting people.
Yeah.
I wasn't traveling. I was doing people online. I was coaching people online. I was doing everything online. There was no travel being lost, you know, all this sort of stuff. So it was the perfect scenario to actually sit down and just get some stuff done in regards to writing of books. But did I? No, of course. No, I didn't. I didn't get that. And now it's and I'm not going to bash myself up for that because, you know, I was trying to help people. I was trying to do the best that I could. I was being kind to myself, all of this stuff. But now I realize that, you know, I missed an opportunity. So what's 2021 going to do? I'm going to get my book out. I'm going to get my book out. And it might even be written, it might even be written under another name, Matt. I mean, Seriously Simple Stuff to Get You Unstuck was written by Tony Curl. This one might be written by Anthony Curl. That's how serious I am that this book needs to be seen as a serious book. Anthony Curl. It might even be known as Anthony Bryson Curl. So just to add that other layer of seriousness in it. But and that'll come.
You're going to get your book out. You're going to get your book out. I'm going to get my EP out.
Yeah.
You'll get your book out. I'll get my EP out. Music video will be out. And how was your Christmas, by the way?
Fantastic. And yours?
It was good. Now, I mentioned something on the last podcast that I didn't want to mention then, But something that really meant a lot to me that happened at Christmas was Dad got a guitar and my sister got a keyboard.
Oh wow! So you got the Bailey
So
band.
I got the Bailey band, which it's really nice because I grew up with no musical influence around me, and I taught myself everything. And now I have 3 of the 4 family members all with an instrument. I'm like, this is pretty fucking cool.
Oh, absolutely. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So, you were talking about that, and you couldn't let us know here on the podcast, but thanks for letting us know. That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
That's all right.
Excellent. Yeah, so my Christmas was good. It was just close friends and family, and one of the interesting things that happened between Christmas and New Year for me was one of my mates, Sack, fought off stage 4 lymph node cancer this year, and so I went for an 8-kilometre walk up Mount Cootha with him because he's in rehab at the moment. And the day before, unfortunately, I attended a funeral for a guy that, you may not know, but I coach rugby league when I get given the chance. And one of the guys that used to run water for me at a club here in Brisbane called St Brendan's, he passed away, had a massive heart attack 2.5 years ago, and has been fighting with it ever since. So what an absolute contrast. You go to a funeral one day and then you're walking up a mountain with a guy who's beaten stage 4 cancer the next day, and you just realise, all of this just realises how precious and significant our life is each and every day. And it's really just, I suppose, made me a little bit more steely in relation to, okay, what is it that I really want to get out and share with the world, and really add value to the world, and I guess that's all part of my decision making process in relation to the anatomy of a leader. So 2021 is going to be a great year, mate. I don't care what happens. I don't care about Joe Biden. I don't care about Donald Trump. If he burns America down, I don't really care at the moment. All I'm focused is on, what is this book going to come out? It's going to come out in a hardcover. I've already decided that. It's going to be a hardcover. There'll be a soft cover available later on. But this is a serious book.
Because I'm releasing, my EP will be a hardcover as well.
Yeah. On vinyl?
Yeah, so I'll have physical.
Oh, right.
Nah, not vinyl. Just CDs. So that'll be something special to see this thing I've created and spent probably 2 years all up time it comes out. So looking forward to that.
Excellent, mate. So it's 2021. We've got some slight delays.
It is.
And at the end of the day, we sort of said, let's get together, let's chat for about half an hour on New Year's Eve, or as it turned out to be New Year's Day. 2020 hadn't finished with us. So what's the number one thing that you are looking forward to in 2021, and the number one piece of advice that you want to give everyone that's listening to this for 2021?
Obviously, I've mentioned some milestones that are happening this year. But the one thing I'm really looking forward to is the EP launch party at my house.
Yeah. And everyone listening to this podcast is, of course, invited to that. But you only can do that by liking, reviewing, and sharing the podcast.
That's it. Yeah, so that'll be a pretty emotional, pretty amazing moment, because I'll have friends and family here and I've got it all planned out. I'll premiere the music video and, I'll set up a little gig at my house. And so I'm looking forward to that, because then that covers everything else I'm looking forward to as well.
Excellent. So your number one advice?
believe in yourself. And believe in yourself. And if you have a passion, never, ever stop talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice. And the number one thing I'm looking forward to is to get Anatomy of a Leader out of me and get it on paper. I'm going to mention the other thing that I'm really looking for. I'm doing one marathon this year, and that's the Outback Marathon, which is sort of run in the shadows of Uluru. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be absolutely inspirational. And the one piece of advice that I just want to share is think about a barbecue that you are attending in 2022 on the first day of January, and the words that are coming out of your mouth when someone says, so what was 2021 like for you? Yeah. How was 2021?
Whoa.
What is it that you're going to talk about, the positives around 2021?
That's really good.
Yeah. So
that's hit me.
So take those little tips of advice, follow your passion, and think about you in the future, and think about what is it that I'm going to be really excited and pumped to tell people about what I achieved in 2021. So Bailey and I will keep hitting you, whether it's fortnightly, whether it's monthly, on the Curly and Burley, Curly and Bailey, Bailey and Curly Unfiltered.
Welcome, everyone. This is
yeah, absolutely. So, hey, thanks for listening, each and every one of you. We love you. If you do love the podcast, please share it. Please review it. If you hate it, that's okay. Share it with your mum or someone that you don't like. I don't care. Or just tune into Joe Rogan, because that's what millions of other people are doing. And of course, if you want to be like millions of other people, or if you just want to be like a part of the select crew that listen to Curly and Bailey, you can do that. So at least you're part of a very select few. Bailey, have yourself a great 2021, and we'll catch up again with everyone very shortly.
We will. Take care, mate. Get better.
Thank God that's over. If you didn't like it, leave a review to warn others, or share it with people you want to annoy. If you did like it, I'm sorry, you cannot be helped, so you may as well leave a good review. I guess the boys will appreciate it. As Curly would say, don't be an asshole. Hopefully, I won't see you next time. Goodbye.